Hey, how's it going, Red Wing fans? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hasky, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the roster cuts that were made over the last few days, as the roster is now down to just 25 players, with 3 prospects remaining that are pretty big names. We all know Finnie, Axel Sandin Pellikka, and Michael Brandzik-Nygaard. So we'll go over the players that have been sent down, as well as talk about the potential of those 3 making the opening night roster. Also, I'm super excited to announce that I am partnering with the Grindline podcast, bringing you guys even more Red Wings content this upcoming season. It is a great time to be a Detroit Red Wings fan. So if you haven't, go and give them a follow, listen to their podcast because it's great stuff. Now, let's get into the video. So here's what the Detroit Red Wings announced. The following players have been assigned to the AHL Grand Rapids Griffins. Forwards Andre Becker, Sheldon Dries, John Leonard, Amadeus Lombardi, Carter Mazur, Dominic Shine, and Austin Watson, as well as defensemen William Lagesson, William Wallinder, Ian Mitchell, and Antti Tuomisto, as well as goaltenders Sebastian Cossa and Michael Pastava. These are some pretty big names. There's a lot to unpack here. Let's start off with the forwards. Starting off with Andre Becker. He's a young player who's shown flashes in camp, but the organization wants to keep developing him at the AHL level, where he'll get top 6 minutes. This will be Becker's second season with the Griffins. Last season, Becker played in 59 games for the Griffins, recording 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points. Next up is Sheldon Dries and John Leonard. Both are more experienced AHL depth forwards who provide insurance. They're the type of players you want to see in Grand Rapids to help mentor the younger players and show them the way around the AHL. Sheldon Dries is entering his second season with the Grand Rapids Griffins after posting 40 points in 65 games last season with 25 goals and 15 assists. And then there's John Leonard, who is entering his first season with the Griffins. Last season, playing for Charlotte, Leonard was tied for the league lead in goals with 36, and in total, Leonard had 61 points in 72 games. And now we talk about Amadeus Lombardi and Carter Mazur, who are Detroit's more promising forward prospects. And while they didn't quite force their way onto the lineup this year, they both have a big role with the Griffins. Don't be surprised if they're pushing for NHL time at some point this season. Then there's Dominic Shine, a familiar face in Grand Rapids. Last season, Shine had his NHL debut at the age of 31. He's a hard-working depth forward who brings energy and leadership in the AHL. Last season for Grand Rapids, Shine posted 46 points in 61 games with 14 goals and 32 assists. And finally, Austin Watson. This might not be the most surprising name to some fans. He's a veteran known for his physical play and penalty killing. He's been sent down to protect the younger players on the roster, as well as be able to be called up and slip into the Red Wings' bottom 6 if need be. Last season, Watson played in 60 games for the Griffins, recording 19 goals, 23 assists for 42 points, and dished out 112 penalty minutes. Moving on to the blue line, we'll start off with William Lagesson and Ian Mitchell. Both head to Grand Rapids. These two have NHL experience, and much like Dries and Leonard, they're valuable depth guys to the Griffins who have years of AHL experience. And if Detroit runs into a ton of injuries on defense, you know they can come in and hold their own for a few games. Lagesson is heading into his second season with the Griffins after playing 23 games for the team the year prior, putting up 9 points in 23 games. And then there's Ian Mitchell heading into his first season with the Griffins after playing last season in Providence, recording 27 points in 47 games. Now we take a look at the younger promising prospects that were sent down with Antti Tuomisto and William Wallinder. Starting off with Tuomisto, he is still developing. He's a big defenseman with upside, but the organization clearly feels he'll benefit from more seasoning in the AHL. Last season, Tuomisto recorded 27 points in 67 games. And then Wallinder, who was also assigned to the AHL. Some say outside of ASP, Wallinder might be the closest NHL-ready defenseman in the system, with Shai Buium right behind him. This will be Wallinder's third season for the Griffins. Last season, Wallinder played in 62 games, recording 2 goals, 17 assists for 19 points. And then we have the goaltending, Sebastian Cossa and Michael Pastava. Starting with Sebastian Cossa, this is obviously a name fans keep an eye on. He's one of Detroit's top prospects at net, if not the top prospect. And while some people hoped he'd challenge for an NHL spot this year, the Red Wings are clearly taking the patient route. Sending him to Grand Rapids means he'll get more starts, more experience, and more time to sharpen his game. Let's not forget, he's only 22 years of age. This is definitely not a demotion, it's part of the long-term plan to develop him into a future starter. Cossa will need to have a big year this year to prove himself. Last season, Cossa played in 41 games for the Griffins, going 21-5-6 with a .911 save percentage and a 2.45 goals against average, and would also play in an NHL game, recording a shootout victory against the Buffalo Sabres. And now we take a look at Michael Pastava, who played last season in Czechia, recording a 23-18-0 regular season record with a .921 save percentage and a 2.39 goals against average before going into the playoffs with a 10-7 record with a .940 save percentage and a 1.97 goals against average, leading his team all the way to the championship. I'm really excited to see what the two goalies can bring, as it will be super exciting to watch as it pushes not only Pastava to prove himself, but also Sebastian Cossa to maintain the starting role. Now let's talk about the injured list, as Nate Danielson and defenseman Shai Buium have been designated as injured non-roster. Danielson is one of Detroit's top prospects and some fans are very excited about. Unfortunately, the injury slows down his momentum a bit, but the expectation is he'll bounce back once he's healthy. The same thing goes for Shai Buium, who's another young blue liner the Red Wings are very high on. For both of them, it's about getting back to full health as soon as possible and resume their development paths. So after all these moves, the Detroit Red Wings are now down to 25 players on their preseason roster. That breaks it down to 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 2 goaltenders, with the 3 biggest names being 2023 7th round pick Finnie, 2024 first round pick Michael Branzik-Nygaard, and 2022 first round pick Axel Sandin-Pellikka, who are still on the roster and ready to make one last impact in the final preseason game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now as we sit down and we talk about those 3 prospects and the possibility of them making the opening night roster, here's my reasoning why I think that all 3 will be there on opening night. Starting with Finnie, the most obvious player that everybody is wanting on the NHL roster. He looks amazing next to Larkin and Raymond. And then you got Michael Branzik-Nygaard. He's going to be firing home one-timers on that second power play unit, as well as creating havoc in and around the net, creating space for his teammates. He's going to be a player that teams are going to hate playing against, and I love it. And then you got Axel Sandin-Pellikka, who every time a team takes a penalty, they're going to know that they messed up, because on comes number 44 over the boards. He's going to be cycling that puck around to DeBrincat, to Kane, to Raymond, to Larkin. He even looked good with Seider if they try and switch some things around. I don't know what the power play unit's going to look like, but all I know is with Axel Sandin-Pellikka on the back end, some magic is going to happen. So if you guys are excited for the upcoming 2025-26 NHL season for the Detroit Red Wings, let me know by leaving a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on the upcoming season. I hope everybody has a great one, and as always, let's go Red Wings.